Yeah, 2018 is going to be hugely exciting for everybody involved with the business. We're continuing with our growth strategy that we set. That growth strategy is focused on growing our business organically, but it's not just about the top line premium that we achieve. What we are very focused on is ensuring that we get the right mix of business into our business so that the margins that we get from that business are maximised. So that means a lot more focus on the retail part of the market. We've always been very, very strong in the institutional space, but our strategy, which delivered in 2017, it is really focused on getting more of a blend of business. We continue to remain heavily focused on the customer. So the customer we placed right at the centre of what we do, and that's driving some radical changes within our business. We are reviewing all the processes across all departments, but interestingly we're moving to a position where we want to almost remove this old-fashioned approach to being organised as a business. So remove departmental barriers, departmental names in many ways. I've just created a new head of customer journey. That person is charged with looking at where all our customer facing processes are within the business and bringing them all together, whether it's in finance, whether it's in operations, whether it's in investments today, bringing them all together under one common ownership within the leadership team. We have a big data migration exercise to do this year. There are expense efficiencies, material expense efficiencies that we can achieve if we migrate the block of business that we bought from Legal & General International in 2015. If we can migrate that from an outsourced provider in Dublin across to our systems here in the Isle of Man, and that will complete in Q4 this year. Yeah, I think the first thing is that it comes down to service to me. So an advisor doesn't want to be dealing with a company that they have to go backwards and forwards to multiple times on a particular client query or chasing that business, or whether it's an application process that's inefficient. So again, that fits with our strategy, which is to put the customer and indeed the advisor at the centre of everything we do and make sure that our processes are totally in line with their needs. Yeah, the industry certainly in recent times has seen a lot of consolidation, and possibly we even led some of that back in 2015 when we saw the opportunity to acquire Legal & General International. That was an extremely good fit for our business. In recent months we've seen further activity. I think generally consolidation is not a bad thing, but clearly we have to continue to offer choice in the market, and my own view is that we probably wouldn't want to see too much more consolidation, because I think then you get down to such a small number of players in the market. It's an interesting question, and it's one that we get asked regularly. I think the answer to that is that every time we review our strategy, we always consider whether it's time for Canada Life International to expand into other markets. Time and time again, though, we come back to the UK market, and I think I'm right in saying that I think it is still the largest international bond market globally. But also, I think when you start to assess risks as well, so some people would say, is there not a lot of risk of being focused on the one market? And potentially there are risks. We referred to it earlier in the interview that if there are changes in legislation and you're reliant on one market, then clearly that must have potentially more impact than if you're diversified across a number of markets. Having said that, when you then start to look at where you might then go to do business, it introduces different risks that today we as a business don't face. And that's quite a strong message that we play into the market, that some of the risks that other companies may face in other jurisdictions, jurisdictional risk, litigation risk, and also actually add into your cost base. got into the industry in the early 90s. After graduating from university, I did accountancy at university. I went into what was Eagle Star International at the time. A great experience. It was expanding heavily, going into many jurisdictions overseas. I was a trainee accountant. I qualified. I saw the acquisition by a number of acquisitions, British American Financial Services, and then more latterly it was Zurich. I became head of financial reporting, head of expense management, and at that time, which would have been 2005, I was looking to move into an FD CFO role, which is where the opportunity at Calendar Life International came up. So I joined in 2005 as Chief Financial Officer. A couple of years after that, I joined the board of Calendar Life International, taking on the operational side of the business. And then in 2008, there was the opportunity then to take over as Managing Director. And then since then, of course, we've gone through quite a lot of change, acquiring the business in Dublin, and following this growth strategy that we've set, which is hugely rewarding and satisfying, I think, for everybody connected with the business. What I'm most proud about in the workplace at Calendar Life International has been the success we've enjoyed over the last 18 months delivering the growth strategy. But the element that I'm most proud of within that is the level of staff engagement that we've managed to create. We said right at the beginning that the strategy wouldn't be delivered from the boardroom, and we've said that time and time again to our people within the organisation. And we've been very successful of involving them directly in the implementation. So we branded it with a theme. It's called Ignite. International growth needs individual and team excellence. The engagement that we've got with that, and the buy-in and the support and the enthusiasm, it's infectious across the business. I don't think it's an industry regret. I guess it's more internal to us at Calendar Life International. Looking back, I would say that possibly we should have moved our offices sooner than what we did. So we were based down the south of the island. We were split across a couple of 2 or 3 offices at the time. It's only now that we've moved on to the business park here on the outskirts of Douglas in purpose-built, a modern office environment, that you can see the huge benefit that gives an organisation such as ourselves.